I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sword.
Oh, I see.
Because it gets a lot. During the show, it's like, what's up, everybody? By the way, during the show, like there'll be like 600-700 people in there. It's a lot of people are waking up and watching it in the morning. So that's what I wasn't expecting.
Morning.
Yeah. So yeah, what's up, everybody? Long time no see. For those of you that were just with us for the MLB show this morning, as of right now, my biggest bet open is Tigers money line, and they're up 7-3. So that looks pretty good at plus 110. I also have the Braves Rockies over. It's just 2-1. I mean, in Coors Field, the game could explode at any time. But this will be a short one. We're just going through the two basketball games. So let's get right into it. First up, Golden State on the road in Houston. I ended up placing the bet. I don't even know how I feel about it. I think Houston wins the game. I bet the Rockets at -3.5. I got. I think Houston wins the game, so why not just take the -3.5? I think the number's a little too big. Laying more than a possession feels kind of crazy. But what I like here for the Rockets is it should be a good matchup for them defensively in terms of the spot. We saw Golden State's offense look excellent in Game 4. Jimmy Butler ends up playing the Warriors offense. I mean, they had a 123.9 offensive rating. That's very efficient, scoring the ball on Houston. All cylinders firing for the Warriors offense last game. So why would I have faith in the Rockets defense? Well, that was at Golden State, and now we switch over to Houston. The Rockets have been an elite home defense all year. They're actually fourth in the NBA behind Oklahoma City, the Clippers, the Magic, and then the Rockets. So this is one of the best home defenses in the NBA and has been all season. We've seen it in this series. Golden State's offense did not look good in games 1 and 2 of this series. Their defense won one of the games. Now, to be fair, Jimmy Butler got injured in the first quarter of Game 2, but Golden State had an offensive rating of 102.3 in games 1 and 2. So the two road games the Warriors played in Houston in this series, they were struggling to score points, which kind of falls in line with what I'm saying. This Rockets team plays great defense at home. So I think the Rockets defense takes a big step forward. Also, another weird thing we saw in Game 4, Golden State was grabbing offensive rebounds on Houston, which is not something you see often. The Rockets are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. You do not see the Rockets get out-rebounded often, and Golden State was grabbing offensive boards. Now that we're back in Houston, I doubt that happens again. In the two games in Houston we saw in the series, games 1 and 2, the Rockets absolutely dominated the boards on both sides of the floor. So I expect the Rockets defense, huge step forward now that they're back home. I expect the Rockets to do an elite job on the glass. When you play elite defense and you rebound the ball on an elite level, you should be in position to win the basketball game. I do think we see a 6th game in this series. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the idea of laying more than a possession to Golden State, but I did lay the 3.5 with Houston, probably just doing a little bit of gambling here. Modai?
Yeah, I'm going with the play that I hit in Game 2. Came through for me. I'm going back to it again. It's Dylan Brooks over 12.5 points, -102 odds at FanDuel. I wouldn't ladder this one up to 15. I would stick to the over 12.5 because he kind of lands between the 12-13 number. He missed it last game. Granted, he wasn't terrible. He only took 7 shots. I'm just kind of betting on that volume to go up. Like Şengün took 28 shots last game. I don't think that's going to continue. And Jalen Green just looks lost. Like I'm not expecting his volume to really go up anymore either. I know he blew up in Game 2, but the other 3 games, it's just like playoff defense for the first time. I'm not expecting much from him. And it's generally a good matchup for these spot-up guys. Like the Warriors allowed the 6th most points per game to spot-up shooters in the NBA. That's why I liked it in the second game in the first place, because like they were down 1-0. I just thought Dylan Brooks was going to come out firing. I kind of think he's going to do the same thing going back home down 3-1. So yeah, Dylan Brooks over 12.5 points.
Someone said, Chad Pickard in the comments says, Kyle, does it bother you that Golden State's taken 19 of the last 22 meetings, and one of the wins was when Butler was out? I mean, that ended. Golden State won like 16 in a row. We were talking about it earlier in the season. the Rockets just couldn't beat Golden State. I think it was 15 or 16 in a row. That ended. The Rockets took 2 out of 3 to finish out the season. So, I mean,
how bad were the Rockets after the James Harden? Like
exactly,
they were bad.
Yeah.
Does it matter that in 2021 when the Warriors won the championship and the Rockets had the 3rd pick in the draft that they couldn't beat the Warriors?
Yeah,
I always those stats mean nothing to me personally.
No, I mean, I like if it's a lot of the same players and when it was active, when it was 15 in a row, I definitely was talking about it. And I think I even bet Golden State a couple times, like the Rockets can't beat this team. But that kind of ended because the Rockets beat them, and then they beat them again, and then they beat them again in game 2. Yeah, when Butler was out. So you could look at it, hey, Golden State's won 19 of the last 22. You could also look at it, they're 3-3 in their last 6. So, I mean, you got to keep in mind that the 16 in a row Golden State won in the last 6. They're 3-3. So I consider that trend to be old news. We were talking about it last year and early this season, but I don't consider that to be like an active trend. Chris?
Yeah, and this is the first year the Rockets were good. So, anyways.
No, they were solid. Yeah, I mean, they were solid in the second half of last year. But yes, this is the first year the Rockets have themselves a playoff team. I agree with that. Chris?
Yeah, I kind of feel like not to maybe we should put this on a shirt, not to steal Cal's word, but kind of feel like we're just doing some gambling here. I took Houston first half, Cal. Laid the 2.5. I think desperation spot coming back home. We also saw them even in the last game. They won the first half. Like if you've been just tracking the series, then you know that it's typically the Rockets' fourth quarter offense. So I hope you cash, Cal. I hope it's not even close. But I think if the Rockets, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I think most people would prefer the Warriors over the Rockets, and that's why we saw them being a favorite, even though they're a 7 seed, because of late game execution, right? Like whose hands is the ball going to be in when for the Houston Rockets when the game's on the line? We expect Steve Kerr to drop a play that's going to be a lot more productive and a lot more successful than one that Ime Udoka may draw up. But neither here nor there. I trust the Rockets offense a little bit more early in the game. I think coming back home, they'll come out, throw the first punch as we've seen them do. They've been a really good first quarter team as well. I considered that, but first quarter is a little bit volatile. So I laid the 2.5, Kyle. Like I said, just like you always say, I feel like I'm doing a little bit of gambling, but I think desperation spot, no matter what happens in the second half, we'll get their best punch. And if we expect, as the books do, that the home team is going to win this game, as they are favorites, we got to expect. We don't expect them to be coming from behind to win the game in this one. I don't think so anyway. In a desperation spot, so yeah, I laid the first half minus 2.5. And real quick, from a trends perspective, Kyle, home favorites in elimination game 5s are 30-10 straight up, 23-17 against the number. That's 57.5%. If it's the first round series specifically, they're 19-5 straight up, 14-10 against the number. So yeah, just so you guys know, and they're about a plus 4.5 in the first half as well.
Just doing some gambling is a perfect way to phrase it. Yes, if you sit there with your eye on the markets, waiting for the lines to open and jump on something early, I suppose you can get a positive a bet down on these playoff games, but it seems like there's other productive ways to spend your time. Like, okay, this one opened at 2.5 on a couple books. If you snagged the Houston minus 2.5, I guess you could go into this one holding a positive EV bet in an NBA playoff game. It's just, there's only 2 games. So you're sitting there waiting for the lines to open, and then sometimes it opens up and the line's completely efficient and there's no bet anyway. So it's not that like, oh my God, there's just no reason to bet this. There's no way to be profitable betting the NBA playoffs. It's just time consuming, and you just got to jump on a line when it opens, when it seems like the MLB with 15 games, there's just way more opportunities to find profitable situations and opportunities.
Those are the facts, Kyle. Real quick, I just want to add also, and this is something that, it took me a while to get to, but you can absolutely live bet these games as well, right? Like we've been talking about this all playoffs, and Bucks and Pacers were a pretty good example yesterday. It's like, 7.5, 8 is a lot to lay with the Pacers. I don't know if I trust them that much. At halftime, I got the Pacers, live, just on the money line. Shout out to Gary Trent Jr. because he really just, threw the game away, wanted to go on vacation early, and they cashed. So you don't have to rush to take a bet either. I think that's important to note. Like, you can kind of see how the game adjusts and, bet it accordingly.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Minnesota on the road in LA. Didn't bet
Moda,
this.
tell me, Moda, you bet Luka first quarter points over.
I didn't today.
Okay.
If
He
it's
does
not
have a
plus
Luka
money,
prop, though. You have a Luka prop.
not first quarter, yeah. It's been plus money all series. The only game it wasn't was game 3. That was the only game he didn't go over. Granted, he was sick that game. If it's not plus money, I'm not touching it. I just don't think the value is quite there, even though he's been smoking that number.
Tell us about your Luka prop.
So the one that I do have, I took Luka over 6.5 assists. Honestly, just this number is just too low. Like he's hit it in half the games. The games that he hasn't hit, he hasn't even come close. 1 assist, 2 assists. The biggest thing here for me is like the conversion rate on his potentials. Game 1 converted 1 of 8 potential assists. Last game, he converted 2 of 9. Obviously, we need to get more than 8 and 9 potential assists if we're asking him to get 7 actual assists. But in games 2 and 3, he had 11 and 14 potential assists. That's a much more reasonable number. Generally, this is a tough matchup for assist props because the Wolves stick to shooters. They don't allow a ton via spot up. But also, this number is 6.5 for Luka, and it's just too low for my taste. I think that it's adjusted a little too much. I get why, like, again, the Wolves defense is tough, and the Lakers don't have a traditional roll man for Luka to just get those easy assists that are lobs that he would get to Derek Lively or even before that to Dwight Powell. But I still just think that 7 assists is too much. Like the reason why the conversion rate's been terrible in 2 of the games is because guys are missing 3-point shots off of his passes. I don't necessarily think that's going to continue game over game, especially in a do-or-die game for the Lakers, especially at home where generally teams have a higher percentage, especially the role player guys. So Luka over 6.5 assists, minus 118 FanDuel.
Chris, what do you think? Because I don't have a bet on this one. I'll probably bet it, but I don't know. I don't know how you lay 5.5, 6 to Minnesota, but at the same time, clearly they're taking Lakers money. We're pulling Minnesota 55%, 30%, but clearly they're taking some sharp Lakers action.
Yeah, I haven't bet this series all. Like I haven't placed a bet in that series the whole game. This is the first day that I have, and again, I'm doing a little gambling. I think 5.5. I agree. I think it's it's a big number. We did see the Lakers win game 2 in a nice bounce back spot, like very defensive oriented game. Neither team could really score the basketball at all. I think it was 94 to 85. But yeah, you mentioned it, Kyle. Like off back-to-back losses and you're going to lay 5.5. I think that's a little insane. What I did bet was I bet what you got up. Lakers first half, minus 3.5. I do think that same thing kind of like with Houston, if they have a chance, it's going to be early coming off back-to-back losses. Both teams, like it's the same handicap for both teams coming off back-to-back losses. I also think that with this series specifically, outside of the Houston and Golden State series, where Houston has a little less, I guess, experience late in games, I think the Lakers, especially with LeBron and Luka playing the whole game, like JJ Redick decided, you know what, these guys are just going to just keep them in, just play, just all 48 minutes pretty much. So I do think that there's potential for them to run out of gas late. It does feel like the Lakers have started games off a little bit better than they finished them. If you go in and look at it, I was looking at it just a couple minutes ago. The Lakers are, real quick, I had it pulled up. All right, so the Lakers are getting outscored, Kyle, so it's 26.2 to 17.2 in the fourth quarter between the 4 games that they played so far. That's a pretty big difference. That's about 9 points in the fourth quarter they're getting outscored by. But I do expect them, like, again, I don't think they're going to be coming from behind in this one if they do have a chance at all. So admittedly, it's a little gambling, but I haven't bet the Lakers at all. And I think this is at home in the desperation spot back against the wall. I'll take them in this one.
I do think the Lakers win the game. Not going to lay 5.5, 6. I actually found something. I didn't realize the total was up to 210.5 in a couple places.
Under?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the under. I know we just saw back-to-back overs, but keep in mind, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've talked about this several times. Every single time these two teams have met this season, it's gone under entering the last 2 games. Remember when I took the Lakers Timberwolves over 205.5? It had gone under 6 consecutive times. Every single time these two teams have met, it's been a low-scoring affair. Last 2 games.
You just a total whisperer now. All of a sudden, you find a couple unders, find a couple overs, and say, you know what? It's time to go the other way. We got to flip the script.
No, I took the Rockets. But yeah, I've had a lot of success with the totals in the playoffs. I think now that it's up to 210.5, it's worth a look on the under. We saw the Lakers hold Minnesota to their lowest scoring basketball game of the season in game 2. They were held to 85 points in game 2. Elite defense. Minnesota couldn't do anything. Timberwolves explode offensively in games 3 or 4 back in Minnesota. Now we fly back to LA. I think the Lakers show up defensively. I also, like Chris said, we're expecting Luka and LeBron to play extended minutes. They're not going to be sprinting up and down the court for 48 minutes. I mean, Luka is not built like that, literally. And LeBron's 40 years old. They do not want to track me. They want half-court possessions, and Minnesota is not a team that runs in transition. They're more than willing to play possession for possession, half-court basketball. So I think we'll see an especially slow pace. I think we see the Lakers defense take a step forward. Minnesota's always a tough defensive team. So the way I would go here, I think 210.5, it's still a little low for my liking, but I think I'll bet an under. I do want to bet this game. You know what? I'll bet an under. I'll do it right now so I don't forget. I'm down to bet it under at 210.5.
Little 3-point regression as well, Kyle. Lakers shot 40% from 3 in game 5. Timberwolves shot 39% in game 5 as well. So, yeah, if those threes aren't falling, this one definitely can stay underneath the total. I don't like that. I don't dislike that at all, Kyle.
Yeah, it's back-to-back games where the Lakers defense didn't look that great. I think the Lakers play a good defensive game here, plus the slow pace. I do think the Lakers win, but
I like it.
210.5 on. There's ESPN Bet. MGM also has it. 210.5.
Well, 2 books you can probably get it combined down $3 on.
I was going to say, there's always those ones, right, Moda?
Yeah. No wonder those are the outliers because they don't get as much action, so the ones aren't as sharp.
Not if you bet sides and totals, bro. They'll let you bet. That's
not me.
Yeah, that's a prop thing, bro. If you bet,
I can't bet sides. Not on those two.
Well, because you bet props, though. They limit whoever bets straight props. Prop Beaver is limited on all those books. He's never recorded a winning season with us in 4 years. It's just if you bet props, they limit. If you bet straight props, they limit you. It's crazy. I know.
That's well, you buried the lead with the Prop Beaver stat. That's funny shit.
He's limited on like 4 books. He's never recorded a winning. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad, or he's just never recorded a winning season. It's if you bet props straight, they'll cut you off. They just don't want to play against that action. If they put the prop markets up, they want you to parlay them. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that's it. Have a good night. Hit me up if you need me. If you're in the betting league, you have 1 hour and 42 minutes. Yeah, see you all at midnight. Let's go.
See you guys.
Let's go Rockets.